of the 11 clubs with a certificate, and it was the only project in northeastern United States and eastern Canada to be so designated. So it was quite an honor, and for within the Rotary circle of clubs, people started saying, wow, that really was a great accomplishment. So I guess I didn't rest on our laurels, and to follow your question is we said, well, let's get in touch with BPD and see if we can team up again. So we have, and we found that they sent us information on another neighboring village, which is 2 kilometers away, Chiramanez. And this year, we set a goal, or they asked for about $24,000. We raised, with 16 Rotary clubs, $29,000. So that project can be fully funded. It's under construction. And my wife and I have hopes that we'll be able to get down in October of this year to see it under construction and see the second village that we've worked on.
Before I ask you more questions, you also had another honor because of your own talents and something you did on your own. And this is how I got to have you come on. I saw in the paper several weeks ago a picture, and I said, oh boy, I wish I was an artist. I'd love to paint this picture. And then a friend of mine who is a Rotarian said, did you see the picture of our Rotarian in Manchester? And I said, what do you think? He says, well, you know, the picture with the little boy. And I said, no. And I says, but I saw the picture. Yes, I did. That picture. Now, this picture is a award-winning picture, correct?
Yes.
And it shows your talent as a photographer. I think it's absolutely tells where the heart of Rotarians is.
Well, if I can
go ahead. Just it's
I don't mean to interrupt. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
If I can explain for those who may be watching this and haven't seen it, I do take lots of pictures. It's sort of a hobby of mine. And when we were in the village that day, after the roughly 2 hours of this presentation, the tour, they invited us to have lunch with them. And we sat down at this very long table, and I had my camera with me, and I looked at the end of the table, and I saw this little boy come up to take some water, the water that we had just provided, essentially, to their village. And he sort of looked into the cup, and I just took my telephoto lens, snapped a few pictures, and it wasn't photoshopped. It was exactly like this. And in January of this year, the Rotary International publishes a magazine called The Rotarian, and they have an annual edition in June, and it's called Rotary in Pictures, and they ask Rotarians from all over the world to submit what they consider to be pictures that depict some of the service projects and humanitarian projects we do all over the world. So I sent 3 in, and one of them was this. I happened to be looking for information on the Rotary website, and my wife was sitting next to me at the computer, and this was in early May, and she said, oh my God, your picture is here. And I said, what are you talking about? Well, they had published the 6 pictures. The editors found that there were 6 pictures that they felt were so exquisite that they wanted Rotarians and anybody who visited the Rotary website, they could vote on. And it turned out that my picture was voted the best picture that represents our motto, which is service above self. So I'm just so honored and humbled that I was given the opportunity to visit this village, to take the picture, not for myself, but for all the Rotarians, the 11, and then this year 16 clubs representing several thousand business people in the greater Hartford area in southern Massachusetts who helped fund the project.
So you're going to start now with another village.
Yes.
And have other Rotary clubs picked up this idea, and they're going to start doing as they did with the polio, do you think?
Yes, I believe so. I think that it is going to be emphasized more and more. It is much more of a challenge, perhaps, than polio, because there are so many parts of the world where clean, potable water is just not available. It really will be a challenge. I've been able to...
That's why I wanted to emphasize this word potability, because there are a lot of places that have water, and that's
Correct.
not the problem. The problem is that the water has a lot of problems.
True.
And, you know, a lot of microbes, a lot of bacteria, the mosquitoes, and the whole bit. We used to have to boil our water when I was living in Liberia, and then we had a filtering system.
Right.
And we used to have to put our water through the filtering system. And but we used to have to boil it for a good, what was it, 25 minutes, 25 minutes before it killed everything. But we got our water off the roof and not in the well. But.
Well, I guess there's a saying, you do a good job, and people then start to ask you to do more. And the current district governor has asked me to be the chair of the water subcommittee for the whole district. And I'm working with the person who has the responsibility to set up our website. And we're trying to list all of the water projects that any club has worked on or are trying to accomplish, and others that they may want to join in. And there are clubs in this area who have worked on projects in Argentina, in Africa, and parts of Mexico, I believe. So I am fully aware there are many other parts of the world that are just have this as a crying need. And Rotary is trying to get the word out to all the clubs of all the possible projects they can work on.
It's absolutely amazing, the ramifications that will come from that project alone. Clean water, potable water, water that's right there for them, the stove, the latrine project. It's absolutely amazing. I want to thank you so much for coming on and sharing this with us. Our time is up. I think I have about 30 seconds. And I want to wish you all of God's blessings.
Thank you.
And I ask those of you out there to keep your hearts and your minds open to this voice in the wilderness. Thank you and good evening.
He sets a table before me in the presence of my foes. She anoints